How's it going, everybody? Wildman Wes here.
I'm Rebecca.
And welcome to day 23 of SHOCKTOBERFEST 2024. This is the third of 3 episodes that is requested by Patrick Davis, aka PatmanQC, one of the greatest video game aficionados, pro wrestling fans, and pop culture extraordinaire. You know what? I also, from the last couple episodes, we did bring up the fact that recently he has been going through some financial and health issues. Look at the link in the description below where there is a GoFundMe link to help him get back on track with all of the episodes and content that he makes. I don't know about you, but I want to see some more happy little games. That being said, let's move on to the review.
Love you, PatmanQC.
So today we're going to be talking about 1983's Cujo. I just realized after, over 2 weeks of doing these reviews for the series, I haven't done a Stephen King film. And you know what? Patman, thank you for reminding me that this one needed to be done. Recently, I did an episode about Fido being man's best friend, but now this one is like the true kind of man's best friend horror movie. There was another movie that came out later called Man's Best Friend, but we'll save that for a later time. So the movie is about this family where the husband and wife are going through some marital turmoil when the husband finds out that his wife is still having somewhat of an affair with an old boyfriend. While this is going on, she has to go take her son to drive out of town to go see a mechanic to fix their car. While they're on their way to get their car fixed, this mechanic and his son have a St. Bernard dog who at one point gets bitten by a bat. They do nothing about it, and it develops a form of rabies or some type of disease where it goes apeshit, starts killing people. And when the mom and son get to this farm to get their car looked at, the dog comes out and starts attacking them. Well, unfortunately for the mom and son, the car's alternator dies. So now they're stuck in this car in the middle of the summer with this dog is just trying to get to them. Well, eventually she is able to find a baseball bat, beat him with it until it breaks, and then stabs the dog. The husband figures out that they've not been home yet. He comes at the end of the movie to reunite with them. That's the best abridged version I can give because, honestly, this movie is very much point A, point B, point C. That's it. Now we're going to talk about what we like and what we don't like about the film. We're going to start off with what we don't like about the film. I'm going to pass this off to Rebecca because she's going to be on a soapbox for a moment. Go ahead.
Vaccinate your dogs. Whole movie could have been avoided. A lot of heartache could have been avoided. Ooh, vaccinate your dogs. As somebody who works in the veterinary field, it was a good movie. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good movie. Maybe they should show it to anybody wanting to get a puppy.
Honestly, when it comes to vaccinating your pets, Cujo would probably be the greatest PSA movie that anybody could watch.
Cujo was such a sweet puppy in the beginning. Just a big, lovable, smushable floof of St. Bernard. I love St. Bernards too, so that doesn't help.
I can relate on that one because this is one of those stories by Stephen King where the terror is more or less in the isolation and also just being entrapped in an area where it's just you have no escape. But, and I love that about a lot of horror films where there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, but in this situation, you are in close quarters. However, as, Rebecca said, it's one of those, maybe the abusive mechanic when his son was telling him, Dad, Cujo's not doing so right, we should take care of this. Get out of it, get the hell out of my way, I'm going to do what I'm going to do best. See,
Go to the vet.
It's one of those we told you so moments, and unfortunately, it's just kind of one of those face palms.
Listen to the kids. They're more observant than we are.
Okay, now that we've talked about what we necessarily don't like, we're going into what we like. Becca, you know what? We're going to see what you like about this.
I actually do like the movie. I do like, as you mentioned, that feeling of isolation, and it's one of those. This is such a real life thing that could happen, whether it's a dog or a wild animal. Like, I've had that where my car's broken down and you're in that what do I do mode, and like I couldn't even imagine having a vicious animal coming at me that whole time. So it does have that factor.
No, and then that's fair, and I can relate on that one because, as she said, you know, like in this situation, it's like this could happen in real life. This really could happen, and that's what makes it even scarier. I'll admit, even as a kid, you know, I was a little timid of dogs. I got attacked by a couple dogs as a kid, and you know what? Seeing this movie, it gave me a lot of goosebumps. Where I'm like, yeah, like almost PTSD in a way. So I can understand why anyone would be afraid of this film. Another thing, the cast is actually really solid. I mean, you have Dee Wallace playing the mom. She is pretty much the mom in every movie in the 80s, pretty much. Let's just put it that way. You also have Christopher Stone, who was her husband at the time until his passing in 1995, that played the ex-boyfriend. We also have Chris Pintaro from Who's the Boss playing the son. And we have quite a few other actors that are in this movie that were the who's who of the 1980s TV series, movies, stand-up comedy. I mean, it was solid cast. I mean, and not just that, it was a small cast where it's just, you didn't have to really worry about too much star power or cameos. It was just very tightly knit, and I appreciate that one.
Isolation factor.
Mm-hmm.
No, the acting in it was good. The story itself, the way that it's put together. Again, you said it's very point A, point B, point C, but it's all one of those, like, if you think about it, if you sit back and think about it, what would you do in that situation?
It's pretty unnerving, let's just put it that way. Okay, well, since this is a pretty quick episode, we might as well go ahead and grade this. You know, I mean, since you started off on the soapbox, I figure we need to hear your grade first, I think.
I'm going to give it a solid A.
Solid A, okay.
Even though, vaccinate your dogs.
Yeah.
And your cats.
The veterinarian Bob Barker right here. I love that.
You're welcome.
I will agree with you on that one. We'll do a unanimous solid A on this one. I mean, it's not a perfect film.
You're either perfect or you're not me. There's no gray area.
But it is damn near close. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Well, we hope you enjoyed this quick review on Cujo. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, and if you didn't agree with everything, you can leave a thumbs down. I get it, because there might be some dog lovers that may not agree with what we said, and that's alright. However, make sure that you share on social media, push that little red button, and ring that bell for instant updates. Also, as I said in the beginning, make sure you check out PatmanQC stuff. You'll be glad you did. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes.
I'm Rebecca.
And we'll see you tomorrow for day 24 of SHOCKTOBERFEST 2024. Take care, and as always, stay scared, kiddies.